Good morning. I put a little live stream up and I've just watched it through and the quality's not that great. So I've taken it down and this is a redo of what was the live stream. The weather's not great at the moment because there's a lot of rain and there's a lot of low cloud, and I think it could be interfering with the signal that my little iPhone gets, because you know I don't have internet and it's all done via a hotspot on the phone. So anyway, that's an explanation of why that video is down. I'm going to be very wary about where I do live videos in future, because it's very disappointing, you know, when you sit down to watch a video from Bealtaine Cottage and it's all blurry or it's jumping about or just the general quality isn't great. Anyway, so let me try to put the points into this video that I was doing on the live stream. Now, one was about the goddess cards. The other one was about a discussion I had yesterday with a friend of mine. And then there was the recounting of a particular incident that happened in Dublin yesterday. So bear with me. So first of all, I'm doing a lot of clearing out here at Bealtaine Cottage. And the reason for that is that I really want to embrace new energy coming in. It's to do with the spring, it's to do with, I think traditionally, we've opened doors and opened windows in the spring and we have allowed new energy to flow in, to flow through. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is that with trying to birth this new book about fairies, about the She, about things that have happened here at Bealtaine Cottage and the mystery of it all, it's important to clear space for that. Because if the space isn't cleared, one can end up being in a very sort of, well, not negative, but a very static energy space. And where the energy is static, it starts to degrade, it starts to spiral down rather than spiral up. So one of the things that I've been clearing out, these cards, which are goddess cards, okay, there's 48 of them. Now I've already put one in with the book, and what I'm doing, because the cards, oh, let me just grab that. The cards have a beautiful image on the front, different image of a goddess. This one here is the triple goddess, and then an explanation on the back. So I'm going to just randomly choose a card to put in with the book. So the next 48 books, well, 47 books that I post, will have a card in that I randomly choose. So you'll have a little goddess card, a little gift from Bealtaine Cottage, and they're going to go in with In Search of the Goddess Rising, which is book number 2, or book number 1, which is A Cottage in 3 Acres. So that's that little bit of housekeeping done. Now, a friend of mine visited yesterday. Come on, Jack, let's go out. Let's just go out here, and I like to have the door open. A little bit of wind. Look, there's a few wee leaves blown in there. You see, the energy's coming through already. A friend of mine visited yesterday, and she's kind of quite upset. Well, no, she wasn't actually upset when she arrived, but and I'm not going to say that she was upset when she left, because that's not right. That's not the right way to put it. And we were talking, and she just voiced some of her fears to me, okay? And one of the fears, which I think everybody's aware of, because I've certainly watched videos on YouTube regarding this, one of the fears, maybe the predominant fear, was that major issues in the world were not being addressed by the powers that be. And you know the powers that be, the governments, the corporations, you know, the banks, etc., the economists. And it just boiled down to a huge wellspring of fear, fast approaching like a tidal wave, maybe even turning into a tsunami at some point, of fear was happening. And I'm aware of this. I mean, one cannot but be aware of it. And so I shared my thoughts with her, which I'm going to share with you now, but only just very briefly, because I don't want to dwell on this. But in terms of all the changes that are happening, you know, the weather systems, climates, fierce storms everywhere, extreme weather events, etc., Mother Earth is trying to balance herself. And if we don't help her, and it looks that way that we are not helping her, because we're just carrying on with our incredibly selfish journey, a very short journey at that, we all know how long life is, of consuming. So this kind of consumption mentality and this extraction mentality, where we want to extract everything from her and consume it, has taken over the so-called free world, you know. And Mother Earth will have her day. She is in charge. And for me, thinking about it and trying to feel that energy, I would be very much in the view that there would be one or two big events which will end up pulling down the system that exists at the moment, stopping that system in its tracks. Now, what's happening on YouTube and social media generally is that there is a huge amount of fear-mongering going on. And I will share with you how I feel about this. I don't have any fear about it at all. There is nothing to fear. Because fear and fear-mongering is about trying to control you. There is no good end product other than living in a state of fear and looking towards someone else to help solve the problems. So that brings me now to something that happened yesterday in Dublin, which is a very good example of how I approach life. And this is it. There was a bus, a public transport bus, crossing over one of the bridges across the Liffey in Dublin yesterday. And the driver appeared to have a heart attack or a stroke, whatever it was in a way. He went into spasm, and his foot was stuck in the accelerator, and the bus was hurtling into what was going to be a very quick end for a lot of people, or serious damage to a lot of people, okay? And what I would call someone who was possessed of heroic energy, which is what we all need to cultivate and nurture now. A nurse, a woman, a nurse, jumped up to the front of the bus, took the driver's foot off the pedal, stopped the bus, and immediately set about administering, I think it's called CPR, you know, when you try to revive someone. The quick actions and heroic energy of that woman saved the people on board the bus and the people in that area from catastrophe. So, we can either live in a state of fear, you know, shirking everything and shaking and trembling in a corner and do nothing, or we can begin to nurture and cultivate what is heroic energy. And heroic energy is profoundly optimistic. And there is no room for fear. And it's within all of us to have that, without a doubt. It's within all of us. We possess that. As the human species, we possess that. And I know as a woman and as a mother, I would go to any lengths to protect my children and my grandchildren, to any lengths. I would take on an army. Probably shot down pretty quick. But it's just so important to remember what we are capable of, you see. So, we mustn't be frightened of the future, and we must do all we can in these present times to be positive, to keep the good energy flowing, to nurture the good energy. And I, for one, will not be looking at any more fear-mongering videos on YouTube. Because ironically, at the end of a lot of these fear-mongering videos are advertisements for guns and knives and prepper food, and I'm not going down that road. It's quite ridiculous. It's quite ridiculous. And I have every faith in Mother Earth. Mother Earth will restore the balance. We have got to be prepared for that. And that doesn't mean holding ourselves up with a bunch of prepper food, an array of knives, a couple of guns. That is not how it's going to pan out, I can assure you. Read history. Read how the human race dealt with potentially catastrophic situations all the way down through history. Anyway, I'm going to upload this video. I hope it doesn't take too long. As you can see, you know, from all the low cloud and everything, could actually take a while. What I might do is put the laptop and myself into the car and drive to a point where I can upload this as quickly as possible. Blessings to you all.